Wasn't even it.
Oh, I love that. So Vicky and Susanna, welcome. I'll go ahead and mute you and hit record has happened.
Okay.
Please go ahead and unmute as always. Okay. All right. Great. So what's called sheep detective. Oh, I love the Arlington cat. Okay. All right. So where I'd like to start is lying down on your back with that same neck roll I believe we had on Wednesday. So this one is a little larger than the neck roll you might typically go for. What you do is you roll from the rounded edge, so not the fringe part, but the rounded edge, and try to create a tight cylinder so that you end up with a smooth cylinder. And then the idea is to place this roll underneath the curve at the back of your neck and allow yourself enough space as best you can so that you can stretch out your arms wide like a T. So you might need to stagger with your neighbor. You might need to scooch just a little bit to one side or the other. And then the idea is to, yeah, there you go, scooching and shuffling around a little bit. Excellent. With your feet flat and your knees bent, slowly and gradually settle yourself in a position where as much of your back from your shoulders all the way across from right to left and all the way down to the tip of your tailbone is pressing into the mat. And of course, there are areas where your bones curve up off the floor. There's no way that part is going to press. But can you take the curve out of your low back and lengthen those lumbar muscles? And if it's proving to be kind of difficult to do that, gently hug your knees up into your chest so that you can feel that middle part of your curviest low back lumbar area press into the mat. With that in place, slowly lower 1 foot at a time and try to retain that. Now, in this position, the goal here is to roll your chin from side to side with your arms stretching out right and left. Depending on your shoulder joints, your arms may be slightly tilted down towards your feet or straight up and out, even in a Y shape. But the goal is to massage out your neck as you turn your chin from side to side. Notice your breathing here and see if you can emphasize your breathing more than you normally would. So when you inhale, take a really big inhale so your belly rises, your side waist expands, even your back body presses into the mat as your lungs fill and press into the inner edges inside of your ribs. Couple more slow turns of your chin from side to side. Ha. Take a big belly breath in wherever your chin is, and a full squeeze out all that air breath exhalation. And two more like that. Big fill up your belly with your breath. Exaggerate it, and then squeeze and exaggerate the stamping of your belly button down into your spine. One more round as and how it serves you, modifying anything and everything you need to modify today in terms of the way we do things as well as the number of things we do, the timing, etc. Now, interlace your hands behind your head. And even though the blanket's there, it's a little bit odd. The idea is to curl your elbows towards each other and very, very slowly, as you dip your chin to your chest, elevate the back of your head to stretch out the back of your neck and upper shoulders as you curl your chin to your chest. Keep your belly button squeezing down. And now, as you lay your head back down, lengthen your neck and pull your skull backwards to extend your neck a little bit more. Once you're down, take an inhale, let your elbows drop wide. Exhale, flatten your back and fold your elbows towards each other. Curl your chin to your chest and any amount, lift your shoulders. It's not better to lift higher. It's simply an option that you could explore. Lower back down as you extend your neck. Now, before we do the third one, what I like to do now is move that blanket a little bit so I can unroll the roll so it's either tiny or non-existent. Because now as I do this last one, what I'd like to do is to pull my elbows in, curl my chin to my chest, lift up as we just did before. But now when you lengthen your skull backwards, that roll is not in the way in the same way it might have been before. So pull your head backwards and release your hands and bring them down to the sides of your mat. Then bring your knees into your chest and make two separate circles as if you're an egg beater. You know those egg beater things, right? They interdigitate the little, I don't know what you call them, like baffles or something. Your knees make two separate circles out of register with each other. So one circle goes one way. Yeah, exactly. And you can hold your knees as you do this, or you can do this without holding onto your knees and then reverse the circle. And that's where it gets tricky. Massaging out your back, a gentle release for your hip joints. Couple more breaths here, round and round you go. And then slowly, gradually bring your feet wide to the edge of your mat. Cactus your arms or straighten your elbows out. Since we made space for your straight arms, you might enjoy that. Lift up your toes and dig in with your heels. And now just put your left knee down towards the middle of your mat, over towards your right heel. Your right knee is still up to the ceiling. Weird, right? Then slowly lift your left knee, point your left knee to the sky, keep it there, and dip your right knee down as if you're going to tap the mat inside your left ankle. So it's abbreviated windshield wipers. Now, for some of us, this abbreviated version is yucky. If that's you, let your legs both tilt to the sides. You might be like, I'm not into this. This is not my thing. No problem. Simply switch up to your regular windshield wipers, but maintain the slow cadence. So we're not forcing anything, but it's a very muscular event. So as you squeeze your left buttock, your knees go to the right. And as you squeeze your right buttock, your knees go to the left, either one or both. Then slowly come on back to the center and hug your knees up towards your armpits and just rock from side to side, massaging out, particularly again, that space between your low ribs and your sacrum, that bony triangle at the base of your spine. Take a big breath in, expand your chest, your heart, your lungs. Exhale, let it go. All right. Now hug your right knee into your chest. Hold on either to your right shin or the back of your right thigh and press your left calf flat. Then use your right hand to open up your right knee any amount towards the space next to your right elbow or shoulder. And then cross your right knee over and gently twist. Your lower body twists to the left. Look right. Stretch your right arm out to the right. And this cross body twist creates a real twist right in the middle of your spine, right where your low ribs meet your lumbar. Then slowly return to center. Keep your left calf and your left heel grounded. Press your low back flat and keep your back flat and your left hip grounded as you open up your right knee as far, but only as far as it goes without tilting to the right. So your belly button stays flat up to the sky. And one more time, twist your lower body left. Open your chest to the ceiling and maybe look right. Pull on your right thigh with your left hand, but push into your hand with your thigh as well so that you create resistance. Come on back to the center in slow-mo and then pull both of your knees into your chest. Now, you can stay here with your knees hugged in, or you can lift your chin up towards your chest and even try to bring your forehead to your knees. What? Rounding your spine. For some, this feels weirdly good, and for others, it's not good. So please feel free to modify. Keep your head and shoulders grounded. Just hug your knees in. And if you're in your tiny little ball, you might even press your inner big toes together and pull your belly button deeper down into your spine before you lower all the way back down and let go of all that work. Oh my goodness, my neck. Ah, so when we're here, plant your feet flat before we do the other side and massage the back of your neck. So reach for the soft muscles that lengthen along your spinal column, right up from your shoulders to your head, and kind of play those fibers in your fingers, squeeze and release. Imagine cello strings, right? kind of squeezing your cello strings in the back of your neck and bringing some blood flow there. Okay. Now bring your left knee into your chest, hug your left thigh or your shin against your chest, and then kick your right heel and your right calf down to the foot of your mat and ground them so they really are on the floor. Then pull your left leg any amount to the left, open up your hips, push down onto your right hip if you wish to prevent yourself from tilting left, and then cross your body with your left leg. And if you wish, you can turn your belly button to the right or stay flat. Your left leg can simply cross over your body without turning onto your right hip. For a deeper twist, you rotate your belly button all the way over, and your left knee maybe even lengthens towards the floor. But then when you come back, flatten out your back and pull your left knee wide up towards your elbow, armpit, and out to the left. Not to stress out your hip joint, but just to get a little stretch in your inner groin. Then cross again. Rotate your tailbone, I should say your pelvis, to the right. Ugh. Resist the pull of your hand with your leg and resist the push of your leg with your hand. Activating those outer hip muscles. That's for you, Carolyn. All right. And then bring both knees back into your chest. This time, make two separate knee circles where your knees go wide apart, down to the foot of your mat and squeeze together, and then up to your chest as close as is comfortable. Really emphasize the rolling over your sacrum. This is our habitual mobilizer for our low backs here. Now go the other way. Yeah, great. Now cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Now, if it doesn't feel good to do that, simply squeeze your knees to touch and cross your ankles. So you can cross your right ankle over your left ankle. But whether your knees are together, squeezed together, or your right knee is on top, grab your legs with your hands and hug your legs in comfortably close. Mine can't get very close, it's just not possible. But gently bring your knees towards your chest. Now keep them close and place your palms one on top of the other on top of either your right knee, or if your knees are together, not crossed, on one on each knee. Now, press your low back flat into the mat, pull your elbows down into your ribs, and as you push your legs away from your head, don't let your legs move. Squeeze your inner thighs together, tight, tight, tight. Press with your bent elbow, arms, your palms press, and then slowly turn your chin from side to side. Squeeze, if your legs are crossed, squeeze your legs even tighter together. Ugh. And then soften your face. I feel like I get a little choleric and kind of puffy in my cheeks now. I feel like a chipmunk full of stuff. It's weird. But anyway, ugh. And then relax and switch the cross of your legs slowly, left leg on top, or cross your left ankle over your right and continue to squeeze your knees together. Hug your knees in close, flatten your back, place your right palm on top of your left palm on your left thigh, or one hand on each knee. And once again, as you maintain the flatness of your low back, push your knees with your hands, but don't let your legs move at all. It's kind of tiring. Anybody feel this? Try to pull your elbows down. Try to soften your chin. Maybe relax your eyes in your sockets. Take one more breath and release. All right. Now here, take your palms outside of your thighs. Flex your feet up and bring your feet and knees about hips distance apart. With your palms on your really outer knee, kind of at the junction of your knee with your thighs and shins, hug your elbows down, squeeze your belly down, flatten your back. Now push your knees out into your hands, but don't let your knees move. Your arms are a bulwark against knee movement. No knee movement at all, not for want of trying. Now put your feet together and see if that's easier or harder. So with the inner edges of your feet touching and squeezing, maybe you have a little more leverage with which to try to open up your knees. Then move your feet apart. Try to do the same thing with your feet apart. Then you bring your feet back together and continue separating and joining your feet as you maintain this pressure on your outer legs as if you're trying to squish your knees together, but they don't go. All right. And then relax and stretch your legs way down the mat. Lengthen your spine. If you're pretty close to the wall behind your head, no problem. You can simply tent your fingers on the wall, or your palms can lightly tap it, or you can scooch away if you'd like a long body reach. So what we'll be doing here is reaching your toes, point through your toes, squeeze your buttock muscles, scoop your belly down, try to flatten out your low back, just like we did on Wednesday, and really press your ankles together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Prepare to lift your legs, but don't lift your legs. Take one more breath here. Exhale it out. And then relax, bend your knees and roll to the side. Just for a little yoga commercial, tilt over onto one side and sit slowly, slowly up. So I can show you this one because it's slightly different. What we do need to do for this one is to move away from the wall enough that you can do this with your arms and not touch the wall. Your arms might need to be in a V or a Y shape in case this feels bad on your shoulders, being right near your ears. No problem if your hands are wider. The idea is this. You place your blanket, you fold your blanket like a strudel, like so, and you'll be putting that strudel on top of your feet. Now, the second one is either a blanket, and if your arms are going to be wider apart, you'll fold down the long axis of your blanket so you have a wider shape to use. Okay. The blanket or your bolster. If you're like, this blanket is so wimpy, it's like stupid, then you can put the bolster on your hands. I'll show you what this is going to look like. My blanket goes at the head of my mat, even behind me just a little bit. And again, you don't need your feet on the mat. You could scoot your feet off. The idea is this. I'm lying down. Got the blanket. It's kind of nice on my feet because honestly, that AC is pretty cold right now. And I'll go ahead and turn it down because I realize it's kind of extreme. The idea is that you put your blanket under on top of your palms. Now you can always bend your elbows. You do not need to have a straight elbow. But if it's comfortable to straighten your elbows, I can give you that option. The idea here is that you slowly squeeze your belly in and down, press your feet together, reach your arms long, and stay here, or a little bit float your blanket on your hands up off the floor and float your feet up off the floor with the blanket. Then lower back down with control. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze your belly button to your spine and do these very slow, very controlled, and very slight hand and foot lifts. Of course, it's your whole leg, your whole arm. And the length of your legs means it's more work for your core muscles. So if it doesn't feel good, bend your knees. So you can always bend your knees if you need to take some of the pressure out of your low back. And you really want to be reaching your arms behind you. So you might, Shelley, need to scooch just a little bit closer to the clock wall. Yep. So your feet will stick out of the bed like they do. Yeah, exactly. And when you're reaching your arms long, you might need to bend your elbows up towards the ceiling a little bit to make sure your shoulder joints are comfortable. So it's totally fine to bend your elbows upwards like little pointy little cricket knees going backwards. Yeah. Now squeeze your belly to your spine. That's it. And lift less and scoop your belly more. So lower your feet. Don't lift your feet as much, but really flatten your back as much as you can. So the height of your legs is not important. It's the engagement in your core muscles so that your lumbar spine is as flat as it can be. Although for most of us, there won't be a real flattening sensation in your low back because the shape of your bones will preclude that. There you go, Joanne, exactly. So you reach your hands up and back and lengthen through your legs, straightening out your knees. Yes, Dominique, exactly. And then try to float your feet up. Notice you don't even need to lift your feet. Just by the effort of preparing to lift your feet, you've already done all the engagements we're interested in. So if it's too much to lift your feet, you know that you don't need to. It's really quite a bit of work is engaging just in the action of pretending and starting to lift your feet. Yeah, beautiful. That's it, Joanne. Really squeeze your thighs together. Really press your feet together. Nope. And no, that's fine. We're strengthening your back within its natural curve here. So we want to build strength in the conformation of natural curve in your back, flat low back, and also arching low back. So as long as we're not stressing out your back muscles, even if your low back cannot flatten, that's not incorrect. It is actually what we're looking for. And when your body says, I am done, yeah, nice, Peter, then bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side. I know, I know. Need another word besides float? Yeah, float. Float is aspirational, right? Hello, Ann. Yeah, float is not really, it's more like lever your feet off of the, grind your abdominals into your spine and hoist your feet. All right, really, really nice. So here we go. So, penguin series. Yeah, cool. Okay, so feet on blocks. Yeah. All right. So here's the idea. We're in our bridge pose. So we don't need any more blanketing. We just need to make sure there's nothing under your feet that will make you slip. And the idea is this, if you're wondering what the heck I'm going to do, you can watch me here or simply take a very low bridge, ground your palms, ground your elbows, ground your shoulders, lean right and tuck your left shoulder blade under your ribs a little bit, lean left and tuck your right shoulder blades under a little bit, and then slowly walk your right foot just an inch further away from your head, then your left, then your right, then your left. Whoa, that's crazy. Long bridge. And then once you've gone as far as you feel like, yeah, that's actually reasonable, I'm still okay, not too stressed, then pull your right foot in and slowly, with tiny steps, walk your feet back to your classic bridge position. Lift your hips really high. Sweep your arms up and over by your ears and lower all the way down, vertebra by vertebra, and bring your knees into your chest and flex your feet and try to pull your knees in as close as they can go. Then we do the whole rigmarole again. Oi. So 1 foot at a time or both to find your bridge pose. Sweep your arms back down to the sides of your mat and press into the mat with your palms, or grip the edges of your sticky mat and pull them from right to left. Both of those can be nice options for giving you leverage to lift your hips. Then press your low back flat, scoop your tailbone up to bridge, and then this time start with your left foot. Left foot forward an inch, right foot forward, or left, right. So walk your bridge long, not my long, your body's version of long, and then slowly back, one little footprint at a time, before you stomp your heels and lift your hips up and sweep your arms overhead, and then lower down by pulling your hips way down towards your feet to lengthen your spine as you lower. Take a big breath in when you're down. And exhale your arms all the way back up and over and down to the mat. All right, can we do that one more time? Your arms start right down by the sides of your body, pressing down or gripping your mat. Orient your feet all 10 toes pointing straight forward, flatten your back, and slowly scoop your tailbone up. Lead with your tailbone and your pubic bone up into your bridge, and then start to walk your feet away from your hips. Then walk your feet back so that your feet come back right up under your knees. So your feet go long and they come back. Then really bump your hips up as you reach your arms up and over to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then keep your arms reaching to further lengthen your spine as you lower, 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 and pull your hips closer to your heels to lengthen through your spine. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Beautiful. All right. Okay. Okay. So now take your block and place it at the foot of your mat, just where your feet were for bridge, and place the outer edges of your 2 feet on your block in Supta Baddha Konasana. And this is the position where I like to have the fulcrum, the edge of the block kind of hits right on the outer edge, just above or just in front of my heel. But choose the place on the outside edges of your 2 feet where that block edge feels okay. We don't want it to feel like it's digging in a place that's uncomfortable. Because the idea here is to reach down with your palms and either plant your hands flat for this bridge pose variation or grip your mat again like we did before. But before we begin, reach for your skull and lengthen your head backwards. Lift and lengthen and put your head down another half inch behind you. Then re-engage your arms in your favorite position. In this position, squeeze the soles of your feet to touch and move your knees wide, any amount. Now, what I like about this is you can stay right here, trying to press your knees down, not aggressively, but assiduously, and also pressing your feet down into the block and also try to flatten out your low back. So that's already a lot of work, and you could stay here and not move, and that would be a great place to stay. If you'd like to add on the bridge lift, you can slowly lift from your tailbone any amount, your hips off of the floor, lengthening through the front of your hip in external rotation, which is a different modality, and then lower all the way back down vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, bring your knees together, squeeze them into your chest. And then exhale, slowly bring your feet back to your block and meet me back in Supta Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle. So slowly repeating all of these things if all of them work for you, but leave out the parts that don't work for you. So no problem if the hip lift part doesn't feel good, or maybe your knees don't drop very far out to the side. That's totally fine. But the goal is for you to squeeze your belly button down into your spine and try to flatten out your back, even when your knees move right to left. And then when you're ready to come back and rest, you squeeze your knees into your chest to release your back muscles. So maybe one or two more of these. This is supine bound angle bridge lifts with your feet on blocks. A little bit strange on purpose. Good, good, good. Yes, nice, Peter. When you've done your last one, bring your knees up, up, up towards your up under your armpits, and try to separate your heels as wide as they can go. Then interlace your hands behind the back of your skull and drop your elbows comfortably wide, not stressfully wide. So don't worry if your elbows are not all the way down and out to the sides. They might be visible in your peripheral vision. Flex your toes up to your knees and use your hip flexors, the muscles around the front of your hip and sides of your hip, to pull your knees closer to your armpits, so not your hands. Then gaze at the ceiling behind you and see if it's feasible for you with making sure your neck is okay, to lift your shoulders and then drop your head heavily back into your palms. You might even feel this a little bit in your shoulder joints. Then bend to the right and try to tap your right elbow to your right knee. Come back to the center, bend to the left and try to tap your left elbow with your left knee. Keep your gaze on the ceiling behind you as you bend from side to side. And if you're able to tap your knee, squeeze and hold for a moment, then switch sides. Squeeze and hold to the right, squeeze and hold to the left. And even if you're not able to tap your knee onto your elbow and vice versa, you can also still squeeze and hold as you go from side to side. That's it. Yes, exactly. So this one is a little weird, Cecil. It's a side body bend. So when we're here, we go elbow to knee right, and then elbow to knee left. So we're moving the same elbow to the same knee. Exactly. That's right. So you're contracting this side of your body as you bring this elbow to this knee. Yes. And then this side of your body. Exactly. Good, good, good. Got it. Nicely done. Yeah. 6,000 million of these. Can you stamp your belly button deeper into the mat? Beautiful, Joanne. That's it, Ann. Yes, Laura. Good. Yeah, nice. These are good. Shelly, nice. That's it, Linda. You feel it in your side waist, anybody? That's it, Sarah. Nice, Carol. All right. You do you. When you're done, hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Okay. Oh, is it getting hot in here? All right. Now, Slowly roll to your side and come on up. So this one, for some people, you'll be like, this is silly. Why, you know what? But I really like this one. It feels like you're cheating, but you're not. You get this kind of gleeful, like feeling because the reason I like this is that the leverage you get by bringing your feet to the wall in Shalabhasana can help you activate all the muscles along your back body. And when you have that, it feels easier to do the pose that many of us dislike intensely, which is either Cobra or Shalabhasana locust pose. I'm not going to turn my mat, but the idea would be that just like you have your mats perpendicular to the wall, then I would simply spread my blanket down on my mat. So I'm going to do it perpendicular so that I can be at the wall too. But the idea is that you see if it works for your feet to put your toes, your little toe prints, right? You have fingerprints and toe prints. Press your toe prints into the baseboard and bring your palms either under your forehead or perhaps rest your forehead down or even on a folded blanket. And the idea, I think we maybe can't see me here. The idea is that you're lying on your front body and you have this pressure of your toes, maybe all 10, maybe a subset of 10, uh, pushing against the mat as you press your tailbone and your pubic bone deep into the blanket. Try to scoop your belly button up off of the floor, maybe so that it doesn't even touch the floor. Don't worry if it doesn't do that. Most of us, it won't. But squeeze your buttocks and also squeeze your inner thighs together. Just that is a lot of work. Can anybody feel the work in your legs? Then relax and let your feet and legs drape. Bend your knees and do a slow windshield wiper. Breathe into your belly here and imagine you could breathe in 360 degrees. So like you have a breathing donut that you breathe all the way around your whole torso, not just the front or even just the sides. Now bring your big toe or your toe prints back to the wall or the baseboard and squeeze your buttocks, press your tailbone down, your pubic bone down, and don't worry if your knees don't feel comfortable straightening. It's okay if your knees are grounded. I actually like to straighten my knees, and for that, what happens is that as I pull my kneecaps up into my thighs, my knees actually lift off the floor. And if that's happening for you, it's totally fine unless it feels bad, in which case you lower your knees back down. Now, squeeze your belly in and up, and then see if it's okay for you to either rest your forehead down or turn it to the side as your arms go down to the sides of your body. Now, keep the action in your legs and slowly start to lift your shoulders, tuck your chin, really press your pubic bone down, squeeze your buttocks, and pull the paint of the wall up the wall with your toes. Your toes don't move, but you're trying to drag the baseboard up the wall. As you lift your chest any amount, gazing down your nose, take a big breath in. And then exhale, lower, face your chin the opposite way that you just did. Bend your knees, and this time make a circle with your shins around and around. Now go the other way with your shins. Maybe flip your head to the other side. Breathe into your belly. All right. Now you can repeat the one we just did or add a little spiciness to it. Spread your toe prints on the baseboard again. Squeeze your belly button up, press your pubic bone down, squeeze your glutes. And now choose whether you want your knees to straighten and lift off the mat or no. Then float just your head. Then squeeze your shoulder blades together to pull your shoulder heads up off the mat. Then reach your hands back and up any amount. And as you lift your chest, lift just your left foot off of the wall and reach it, even as your right toes still are pulling that baseboard up to the sky. So just your right foot is supporting you. Now put your left foot down and lift your right leg and pull up with your left toes. Try to straighten your right knee. And come back down one more time. Your left leg leaves your right toes, drag the baseboard up. And switch last time. Left toes, dig, 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 pull up, and then lower down. Oh, thank God we're done. Now for the crisscross windshield wiper, I bring both feet wide and then cross my shin right over left, both wide, left over right, wide, cross, wide, cross. So just a different, slightly different mode of action as you crisscross. Very good. All right. Now, you can do a reverse push-up here, but I prefer instead to roll onto my side body than sit up sideways, because that tends to be easier for people who have sensitivity in their low back. Okay. Now, where we go from here is to take your blanket onto your mat, fold it up nicely so you have a nice thick pad of blanketing in the middle of your mat. And if you are feeling some sensitivity in your wrists today, I invite you to put your block under your forearms or to roll up your sticky mat under the heel of your hand so that you've got a slight slope to the angle at your wrist, a little bit of a wider angle at your wrist, and you can dig in with your 10 fingerprints. So take a moment to settle into your tabletop and see if you might like something under the tops of your feet. The shoelace sides of your feet could rest on a rolled up blanket if that was nice for your ankles and your feet. And then the idea here in this tabletop position, whether you're on your forearms or no, is to scoop your belly in and up to take some of the sway out of your low back. Micro-bend your elbows if your hands are on the mat, and then slowly lift your right knee up and out, and then turn your knee back and try to lift your foot up to the sky. Rotate your knee behind you. Then pull your knee back up and out. Keep it high and rotate, internally rotate. You can even tap down with your outer knee and your foot, then rotate and tap down with your inner heel. Rotate, tap, and rotate. So it's first we simply lift your knee straight up, then we dive your knee down and turn your thighs so far in, you might even squeeze your thighs to touch. And then you try to go the other way and tap the sole of your foot or toes down. 2 more like this. Yes. So we're rotating your thigh bone all the way down and in towards your left leg, and then all the way up and open. Ugh. And then when you're done, place 2 knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, and either soften down here in a hip lifted version of puppy pose or child's pose, or perhaps sink back. Maybe that block goes between your heels and your pelvis there so that you can rest in child's pose, or flip to your back and take your child's pose on your back as you breathe into your belly all the way around. Remember the respiratory donut. Breathe all the way around your trunk and squeeze in all the way around your trunk. And then again, inhale and exhale. One more time. Big inhale and exhale. Now we'll switch to the other side. I'll move around so you can see my leg on the outside. This idea here and now is that you set yourself back up in your tabletop. You scoop your belly in and up to engage your abdominal muscles. If your palms are spread, spread them even more and dig in with your fingerprints, and bend your elbows slightly back to your knees to alleviate a locking action in your elbows and a strain in your shoulders. Bring your knees about hips distance or a little closer. And then as you swing your left knee up and out, any amount, then pivot and rotate your legs so much that you tap down with your inner left knee towards your right calf. Yeah, so it's an internal rotation. As far as you can rotate your left leg, your hips will move. Then add the external rotation where you lift your left knee up and open, maybe even tap the floor with the sole of your left foot. It's super tempting here to drop your head way down. But in principle, what we're looking for is more of a neutral alignment through your neck and shoulders. Dip your left knee way in, rotate your left thigh in as far as it will rotate internally, and then same thing externally. I find it more difficult to rotate externally than internally. Does anybody feel that? And for others, you might find that external is easier and internal is weirder and harder. When you feel like you've evenly done this roughly same amount to both sides, then we come on back and bring your knees wide, big toes to touch, and sink into your child's pose of choice. In principle, yes. So in principle, you're maintaining a stillness and a stability in your standing leg. In reality, it moves. Yeah. And so I'm more interested in the mobility on your moving side than the stability on your less moving side. Yeah. But over time, yes, that's where we would head. Thank you. Good question. All right. Now, here's my next fave. I love this one, cat cow with a outrigger leg. So here's what we do. We're in your hands and knee position still. And this time, you simply stretch your right foot out to the right. I definitely need some padding under my knees right now because that blanket really helps a lot. So take your time to settle in here. Again, you can be on your forearms. So if your if your wrists don't feel that great, when you put weight on them, you might be on your forearms. And now the idea here is that you cat and cow your back. Initially, focus on your pelvis and your low back, but keep your head, neck, and shoulders more neutral. And the idea is that with your right leg stretching out to the right, you want, as you look back at your own hips, to see that your right hip isn't lifted higher than your left. Sometimes we need to scooch our right foot a little further outward so that when we're doing the cat cow, your hips are more square. There you go, Cecil, exactly. And then cat and cow. Now, if you like to add your upper neck and shoulders into this, please feel free. You can scoop your chin to your chest and round not just your lower back and tuck your tailbone, but you can also curve your upper back in both directions. Now pause in neutral and see what is it like to bring your right hand onto your low back, scoop your belly in and up and twist your upper body to the right. I'm on my elbow here, but if you're on your palm, do be sure to micro bend your elbow back towards your knee. Now lengthen through the crown of your head and see if stretching your right arm up and out any amount, maybe your right arm parallels the floor, or maybe it swings up and open. Take a big breath in and then thread the needle, which means that I don't put my shoulder down. I simply curl my right arm under and rotate, bringing my nose towards my left bicep and round my spine under my left elbow, left armpit. And then I'll switch open again to the twist to the right and then rotate in to this thread the needle variation. And inhale, open at your own speed. If you'd like to do one more, that's lovely. If you're ready to rest and come on out, that's lovely. Notice your breathing. And then super gently replace your right hand, replace your right forearm if you're on your block, bring your knees in, and this time simply cat and cow your back, plain vanilla. Then we'll kick your left leg out for our outrigger cat cow facing with your left leg long. And once again, notice that if your left foot's really close, you might have your left hip really high compared to your right. But instead, we're looking for basically, as much as you can, your hips to be about equidistant from the mat as you start with your lower body catting and cowing. And then only add your upper body if that feels appropriate. So if you add your upper body, you really tuck your chin to your chest. That engages the muscles in the front of your throat, gives you a little bit of compression in the glands in the front of your throat, which some people say stimulates them. I'm not sure that's actually been verified, but why not? Squeeze and soak. If you would like to do the twist, I'm going to keep my right elbow on the block just so you can see what that is. I put my left hand on my low back, scoop my belly in and up, lengthen through the crown of my head and twist left, lengthening through so that I'm not arching or not curving my spine. Then I can float my left arm either straight out like an airplane wing or all the way up like a banking airplane. Open your chest and then round and curl like you're hugging a barrel and rotate your nose towards your right bicep. Bring your left arm under your right armpit. Keep your belly in and up. Keep your buttocks gently squeezing. That's kind of weird here. And then round and rotate, stretching your shoulder blades away from each other here. And one more time, if it works for you, beautiful. And that's right, Laura. Good. There you go, Sherry. And then after your last reach, lift and lengthen, slowly come on back to the center and take just a couple simple balanced cat cows. All right. And then sit back and down and come on out of your hands and knees position. Okay, good. Now, just want to do one more thing. And sometimes it's just easier to sit. You could also stand for this one. What I'd like to do just briefly, since we just did a bunch of rounding actions, is to give you the chance to do the same thing we did on Wednesday, which is that you pull your elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades to touch behind you, and open up your chest, holding your hands wide and noticing how tempting it is when you do this to be way up here with your shoulders by your ears. So any amount, bring your shoulders down. Now imagine you're pushing your palms down into a high countertop and then pull your elbows back and then round and pull. That's it. And it's totally fine too to be on your knees. So if you're standing on your knees, you can do this here too. It's all about your upper body here. So we're rounding. Yes, exactly. That's it. Round. There you go. Ah, perfect. That's a good idea, Cecil, to come there. Take your time. Good. Yep. Really exaggerate the crossing of your arms and the rounding of your upper spine, and then exaggerate the opposite movement. Yes. All right. And then gently release, shake out your hands. Very good. Now, where I'd like to go from here is into a stretch for your calves, your inner thigh, and your inner groin. But it starts off in a position that looks a lot like a lunge. So what we'll be doing is facing in towards the computer. So if you're on this side, you'll face in this way. If you're over here, you'll face in this way. And the idea is that you make your way to a wide-legged position with your heels pointed in and your toes pointed out. The amount of weight you place on your hands is ideally as little as possible, but in practice, it may be greater or lesser, depending on how your back is feeling. Do shift your hips backwards behind your heels so that you have a little more weight in your heels, your legs, your feet generally than in your arms. And as you bend your knees, look to the right and see if you can guide your right knee directly over your right toes. And also your left knee goes directly over your left toes. And then begin to shift from side to side if you aren't already doing so. And as you shift right, pivot up onto your left heel, push your right knee over your right toes. As you shift left, point your left knee over your left toes, pivot onto your right heel, and shift left. Now, for some, as you do this and get a little bit warmed up, you may decide to separate your blocks and put one under each shoulder. If that feels too low, you stay with your 2 blocks tall. You do not need to lower. The more you bend your knees, the more you lengthen the crown of your head forward. So your spine is really long. Yes. Now, next time you go to the right, see if it's workable to hold for a moment. It's a lot of work in your right thigh. Then shift to the other side. I tend to walk my blocks with me so I can use them to put a little weight as I slowly deepen my knee bends. Always ensuring that your knee that you're bending goes right over your toes. Sometimes people find that it actually feels okay to bend your knee more deeply. Your heel, therefore, might lift off of the mat as you bend, and that's okay. That's it, exactly, Cecil, from side to side. Beautiful, Jean. As you bend your right knee and lean to the right, pivot onto your left heel, turn your left kneecap up to the sky. So yes, Carol. So we're externally rotating. Beautiful, Jessica. Your extended leg is turning. Yes, Laura. So that your knee and your toes rotate up and open. Yes. 6,000 million more of these. That's it, Shelley. Good. Now meet me back in the center, but turn all 10 of your toes straight forward. Keep the weight in your heels. And I'm going to build my blocks back up here so that I can lengthen forward with a flat back. And I wiggle my blocks forward here. Pull your hips behind you, squeeze your belly in and up, lift your 10 toes, and orient your heels straight back to the wall behind you, and all 10 of your toes straight forward. Now, for some, keeping your chest and shoulders lifted above hip height with your chin neutral is going to be much nicer for your back. But for others, letting your hands, your blocks, your fingertips come down into a hybrid between downward facing dog and wide legged forward fold Prasarita Padottanasana. Now, if you prefer regular downward dog, please do take liberty. Feel free to turn to the long edge of your mat, place your hands towards the short edge of your mat, I should say, and step your way into your downward dog. So, anybody who is kind of craving the plain, simple down dog, you can certainly pivot to that. The wide legged base is for some of us helpful because you can maintain so much of your weight in your legs that you can get some downward dog extension without putting pressure on your shoulders and on your hands. Beautiful, Carol. That's it. Yeah, that's it, Louise. Yes. Notice if your upper back is rounding. Can you lengthen through the front of your chest? There you go. Beautiful, Laura. To open up the space in the front of your rib cage rather than rounding. Yes. And notice your breathing. Beautiful, Anne. Dig in with your fingerprints. Nice. Linda, gorgeous. That's it. Little tuck of your chin for me, Linda. Just a titch. Good. Beautiful. Nice, Shelley. Turn your head side to side. Release your jaw. Jean, gorgeous. Nice, Cecil. Take a couple of breaths in your favorite variation. Remember that thing called breathing? It goes both ways, in and out. And when and only when you're ready, walk your hands back to flat back or come down to child's pose, right? So if you're in a wide-legged forward fold, I typically like to walk back up and out using a wide-legged stance as my base, and then you heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, toe, heel, toe, heel. Rest either in your child's pose or come to stand. Okay. Take a couple breaths wherever you are. And if you're ready to move on, we'll take your loop. We need to make a loop in your strap right now. And if you're lucky, you get the strap that already has a loop. And if you're not lucky, you get a stupid strap that's hard to loop and the whole thing is a bummer. So if that's you, I will trade with you because we don't need any strap bummers. What we want is to have a loop in your strap that when you hold it up with your two hands inside the loop and your buckle is to your right, looks like a cursive Q. So if you hold your strap up with the tail hanging down long to the right, that is the position we want it to be in so you can put it on your right leg. What we're looking for is that the buckle is cinched up nicely, firmly at the top of your right thigh, just externally rotating. Perfect. That's the way exactly, Cecil. That's going to be perfect. So we bring that all the way up, Jane Fonda high, up to the very top of your right, except Jane Fonda we're not doing that. Jane Fonda a la 1982. Okay. We love Jane Fonda. Any blankets that are on your mat, take a moment to remove them just so that you have a sticky, clear surface to be on and no blankets to slide on. And now this is going to be an Iyengar moment. You're like, oh no, not an Iyengar moment. Because what I'd like to suggest that you do right now is turn to face the long edge of your mat and put your left foot against the wall. So I'll turn my mat so you can see. So we'll be facing your left shoulder, your left foot will be at the wall. And you can place either your foot against the baseboard, which I sometimes feel like it's a little cold and hard and uncomfortable, or block. So you can put a block there against the wall if you prefer. And the idea is that you wedge your left foot up against said block or baseboard. And with your right strap around your right leg, you slowly heel, toe, your right foot wide away from your left. Little bit of a bend in your knees so you're not stressing out your joints, and then rotate your right heel so it points straight back to the wall, and your right toes so they point straight out to the short edge of your mat. Exactly. For some of us, your left foot will naturally rotate inward a little bit. So it's your left foot to the wall, your right foot away from the wall. There you go. Other left foot. My favorite stupid yoga joke. Exactly. Let your strap fall and bring your hands to your hips. Bend both knees a little bit and then turn your belly button away from the wall. Not a lot, a little bit. And notice that as you do so, and slowly begin to bend your right knee and straighten it a few times, that by turning your belly button away from the wall, it's much easier to track your right knee towards your right baby toe. Now, bend your right knee, and if your knee feels comfortable stacking right over your ankle, lovely. If you feel like you need a wider stance, creep your right foot a little wider. Maybe that stack happens, or maybe you need to pull back in a little bit. We want your right knee to be comfortable, okay? Now, keep your right knee bent, press your right heel down and look left, and see if you can spread your left toes and maybe straighten your left knee a little bit more. And push your left foot into the ball, into the block, sideways. So you're jamming your outer left foot against the wall. Now take your left hand and bring it all the way around your right buttock and wrap your strap around the fleshy part of your left hand. With your left hand now appended to your right buttock, turn out your right knee as it was. Yeah, so you've got that turn out. Your toes are pointing straight down the long edge of your mat. Use your right hand inside your knee to push your knee toward your baby toe and bend your right knee a little more. And then slowly bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Now bring your pull on your strap with your left arm to squeeze your left shoulder blade closer in towards your spine and open your chest, but not your hips, to the left and look left, look to the wall. Now, with your chin left, reach your right arm so far out away from the wall with your palm facing down. And now draw both of your shoulder blades down your back and deepen your right heel bend. Right heel. Yes. Take a big breath in now. Look right and pull your strap to the wall. Keep your right knee bent. Reach your torso out over your thigh. Then bring your elbow to your thigh. Or straighten your right arm inside your right thigh and push against your inner thigh with your right straight arm. Open up your chest and even turn your chin any amount to the left. If looking up doesn't feel good, look all the way down. Bend into your right knee. Pull your strap. Deepen your right hip crease. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And slowly come all the way back up. Beautiful. Wow. Okay. Use the wall for balance. Rotate your right toes in, and then super slowly, toe heel out. That was just one or two poses. It felt like a lot, didn't it? I'm exhausted. Okay. So you take your strap, loosen it, let it drop all the way down, then flip it over and put your left foot in, or you can hold it up in front of you. And this one looks like a cursive letter P. So if you have your two hands in the loop, your buckle to the left, the tail hanging down, the cursive P goes around your left upper thigh. So what I love about this, it's such a fun thing, like this Iyengar thing of pushing your foot against the wall. It's subtle, but it gives you power and it gives you proprioception. It gives you a feeling of where you are in space, and it also gives you leverage. So it's nice to have leverage to bring to bear when you have all this stuff going on in a complicated pose like this. So where we'll start is to put your right foot against your baseboard or your block. And for some of us, your toes will be a little bit turned away from your block. And for others, the outer edge of your foot will just press the block. So you'll be able to adjust your right foot as you need to. And now this is the tricky bit. I like to go heel, toe, heel, toe. Eep, eep, you don't have to make the stupid sounds. But then slowly rotate your left foot so that your heel is pointing straight back to in the middle of your right instep and the block behind it, and your left toes are pointing straight out to the long edge of your mat. Now bring your hands to your hips and rotate your belly button away from the wall. Yeah, so your belly button turns away from the wall. That's it, the other way, Shelley. There you go. Even more. Yes, perfect. Exactly. Now bend your left knee and guide your knee. Use your left hand to guide your knee towards your left baby toe. Now lift all 5 toes of your left foot. Just your toes, not the ball of your foot. Yeah. Now put just your big toe and your baby toe down. So yes, you'll be bending your right knee. I guess you want to switch sides there, Cecil. So it'd be your other foot against the wall. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Yep. You'll just want to switch up to be going the opposite way. That's right. Yep. Right foot against the wall. Bend into your left heel. Push your right heel against the wall. Stand up tall and look right and see if your right knee can be straighter than you thought it was before. Deepen your left heel print and lift your shoulders up over your hips. And now look, grab your strap with your right hand if you didn't already grab it and pull your strap against your left glute. Stand up really tall, squeeze your right shoulder blade in towards the center of your back and look right. Slowly reach your left arm all the way out, so far away from the wall as you're looking right, that now when you look left and reach out, tilt your torso over. That's it. Opening up your chest, then cut your left elbow to your thigh. That's it. Great. Let's have you let go of this for me here real quick, and we'll just bring it around this way. That's it. Good. And then you'll take hold of it around here with this hand. There you go. So it'll go in there. That's right. And then turn your hips this way. That's it, Cecil. Exactly. Very good. That's correct. Yep. And then you'll pull your strap to the wall and lift your chest any amount. Good. Exactly. And then lean this way. Nice. That's it. Perfect. Yes. So bending your left knee, pushing down, opening up your chest, look up towards the sky, deepen your hip crease by pulling your strap further into the wall and lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. Now, option to look down here, pushing down through your left heel, push the block with your right leg, lift through the crown of your head, and inhale, slowly rise all the way up, rotate your left toes in, and then heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Out you come. Really good. Okay, now we don't need your strap for this, but remember how it felt to pull on your hip crease, because where we'll be going now is into a variation of a standing balance that starts with a block. So what we want to do now is let's make sure there's no blanketing on your mat so that you're not slidey. I'll help scooch these off for you, Cecil, so you can have a not slidey surface. Perfect. Now, the idea here for Ardha Chandrasana is that you put your block against the wall. You're like, oh, no, not that. Now, the idea here, and I'll show it from the side as well, is that you are in your warrior two. What? So you have your warrior two position. I'll show it from the side. It looks like this. Here's my wall. Beep, 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 beep. Right? Marcel would be. Here's my wall. Okay. I'm in warrior two, same as you just were. But now I have the block between my shin and knee and the wall. So I have warrior two against the wall, just like this. So I'll help you get set up there. What we'll do first is have your, let's see, we did the right leg first last time. Let's do the right leg now. So bend your right knee, place your block between the wall and your knee and shin, and orient your toes straight into the wall. Now, I like to use 2 hands on the wall and slowly toe heel my left foot wide for warrior two. So what's the difference? We're normally used to doing this as warrior one, but as you plant your left heel down and open up your chest to the left, it's a pose where you're facing the long edge of your mat. That's it. So bring your left foot back a little more over here, Anne, in line with your right heel, and then open up your chest and turn to me away from the wall with your right hand on the wall. Yes, and externally rotate a little bit. There you go. So now you're in warrior two. How's this? Do you need this under here, Laura? Okay. Good. Yes, that's it. Now reach your left arm way back over your left foot. Push the wall with your right hand and open up your chest towards the left wall. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, perfect. Exactly. See, so from here, we push the wall with your right hand and look left and extend out your right arm. That's it, Jean. Take a deep breath in here and stay for your exhalation. Virabhadrasana 2 with your block. Now, take your right arm and slowly reach it up, up, up to the sky. Turn your palms to face each other as you bring your left arm up as well, like you're holding a giant beach ball over your head. Now, keep your hips rotating to the wall, but turn your chest to the long edge of your mat. And then as you look left, open up your left arm once more and put your right hand behind you. You can't see it anymore, but it's on the wall. Reach left. Turn your left palm to the sky. Beautiful. All right. And then slowly bring your block down, bring your hands down, and we'll switch sides. Turn your toes in. That was easy, right? Not as bad as you thought. Block between your left knee and shin. Now we're turning the other way. We're going to toe heel, toe heel. We'll bring your right foot way back. Once again, if your hands are on your hips, it can be a little bit helpful here. We'll be turning your belly button to the wall and pressing your block against your knee and your shin and facing. Yeah, so you'll turn around, Cecil, and face Mass Ave. Yes, exactly. And your left foot will be at the wall and your right foot will be back. Good, exactly. Find your Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, with your left knee pushing the block. Check to see that your 5 toes of your left foot are also turning directly to the wall. And if you need a wider stance, wiggle your right foot further back. Now look right and see if your right instep is roughly in line with your left heel. Yes, all right. And now stand up really tall, place your left hand on the wall, and then sweep your right arm so far right that when you look right, you open up your chest even more. And now your belly button turns to the wall, but your chest parallels the long edge of your mat. Turn your right palm up, reach your right arm skyward. Keep your gaze right and bring your left arm skyward too. Imagine holding that big beach ball and now press into the block with your left knee, deepen your left heel print and lift your ribs out of your hips. Inhale here. And exhale, reach your right arm even further right, look right, push the wall with your left hand, and then slowly come on out. You're like, what the heck? I thought that was supposed to be Ardha Chandrasana. But did I leave out a upper, up and back? Upper? Did we do reverse warrior? We didn't. Okay, good. I thought, oh my gosh, what if I left something out? Now, Ardha Chandrasana. So the thing I love about Ardha Chandrasana is your Ardha Chandrasana might look like Warrior 3. Totally fine if your Ardha Chandrasana half moon looks like Warrior 3. We'll move it into the direction of Ardha Chandrasana half moon in the following way. So the simplest, although not the easiest, simple does not necessarily mean easy. You already know that. With your feet parallel, the idea is to kick your foot back to the wall behind you. Notice that my right foot is a little bit in front of my own hip. So instead of having my standing leg foot close to the wall and me falling out forward like this, instead my foot is a little further from the wall than the length of my leg would dictate. And now, yes, and an option for a chair under your forearms is a fabulous idea. So anybody who feels like it might be nice to do the following can place a chair on your mat and put your forearms on the chair. That's a really nice strategy whereby you lift your right leg, left leg, right leg up. Yeah, we're doing right leg. Your right leg is the one that's lifted and you take your Warrior 3. That's it. Now, if your right knee cannot straighten, walk your left foot a little further out and lengthen through your back knee. I think I did the other, but you guys do right leg up. Let's do our right leg up. Yeah. Right leg up. Yeah. Now, once you've done your right leg, pivot your right toes, knee down, square your belly in and up, micro bend your left knee, lengthen through the crown of your head. Get tall, get long, breathe, push your foot into the wall, stamp your foot into Dunkin' Donuts, and then switch sides. Have we already switched? No, awesome. So this is your second side. Now, for me, I've got a lot of weight on my hands, so I can come to my forearms and bend my right knee now. Takes a lot of pressure out of my wrists, yeah? Now, when you've done both sides, come on down, take a break, and roll your shoulders forward. Nice, that's it, Linda. Roll your shoulders forward, up and back. Okay, that's it, Carolyn. Come away from the wall a little more with your left foot. Yes. And Linda, too, I think you could come away a little more with your feet. So if you move your blocks out just a little bit. Yep. Okay, now here's where we go. You can repeat that. Awesome, right? No problem. Here's me repeating this. Because my left foot is a little further from the wall, I have the leeway to come away from the wall and to go back to it. If your left foot is too close to the wall, you'll just fall forward. So move your left foot so that this time you can experiment with pushing away, straightening your knee, and then switching sides. Yeah, that's it, Linda. Much better placement of your left foot. Push the wall. Now try to keep your toes and knee pointing straight down as you do this, so that when you leave the wall, you have a flexed foot, a straight knee, and your knees and toes are pointing straight down. Beautiful, Joanne. That's it, Sherry. Good. Nice, Carolyn. Lift your spine. Beautiful, Jessica. That's it. Shelly, straighten your knee. Beautiful, Dominique. That's it. Yes, Carol. Nice, Peter. All right. Switch sides if you haven't already. That's it, Anne. Exactly. Now, can you leave the wall? Yes. See, there you go. And come back to the wall. Yes. All right. When you've done both sides, come on down, take a break. Okay, last but not least. There you go. A little further out, Jean, just a little with your right foot. And that'll give you more leverage. Yeah, exactly. Beautiful, Dominique. Okay, last but not least, here's the idea. I know you'll love this one. With your foot on the wall, a little further out with your standing foot. Notice, see what I did there? I was too close. So now I was like, ooh, ooh. If I bring my left foot a little further out, my hips can fall behind my front foot. Okay. Now I kick, come away from the wall, open up my chest, turn my toes and my knee, move my blocks around. Doo-doo. Kick, 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 kick. Just start to slowly bring your right shoulder. Kick, 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 kick. Lift, 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 lift. Oh, foot on the wall. Oh, come away, right? So you always have the wall there. And then maybe up, 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 up. Open, open, open. Foot on the wall. And down you come. So you can play with it. It's not, oh, you have to get to this point. No, it's what is it like to come away from the wall with your legs straight as an arrow, open up your hip and turn your toes and your knee to the side. So when your right leg is lifted, yes, Jean, exactly. And you can always move your blocks a little bit further forward or lighten up your touch on your blocks. That's it, Carol. Beautiful, Sarah. Micro bend your left knee for me, Sarah. Yes, yes. Nice, Peter. Yes. Yes, keep your left hip moving to the wall behind you, Peter, and bring your right foot further back behind you towards the stairs. Good. Beautiful. Nice, Lynn. Yes, keep your left knee moving towards your baby toe. You got it. That. You feel that? That's it, Dominique. Beautiful, Jessica. Microbend your left knee for me. Yeah, just a teeny, right? So you're engaging the muscles above and below your knee and also your hip. That's it, Linda. Making sure that your knee of your standing leg is always pointing right over your toes. Make sure that your knee of your left leg, when your right leg is lifted, is going right over your toes. And when you're ready to switch sides, switch sides. Just want to show one thing. That's it, Anne. Here's me lifting up my leg. Yeah, I'm in a warrior 3 variation, right? Everything square. I a little bit bend this knee and ensure that my knee is over my toes. When I turn my opposite leg open, I maintain my knee more importantly than my hip opening. Much more important to keep your standing leg knee over your toes than to open your left hip a ton. Okay, so it's the primary movement is your standing leg knee. The secondary movement is the rotation of your lifted hip open to the ceiling. Yes. Peek down at your own knee and foot to double check your knee and hip alignment, your knee and toe alignment. And then squeeze your buttocks to open your left hip, not move your thigh. It's uncomfortable here on your hips? Then you stop. Yes, absolutely. So in this case, what I would do is yeah, so now we're going to do a pigeon or a figure 4 because this has been a lot of work here and they're probably starting to get really fatigued. And then that brings discomfort. Yeah. So we'll be stopping now after you've done the variation, right? We just did a ton of Warrior 3 variations. So yeah, so now is our time to come on down and take a break. And the idea is, if it works for you, to take a low lunge position. Now, some of you will do this with your back knee lifted, and others will do this with your back knee grounded. But the idea is to stretch out both the backs of your legs and your hips, and the blanketing, the bolster under your knee can be super helpful. Blocks, 2 blocks stacked tall under your chest. And the idea is with your right leg forward and your left leg back, you lengthen into your lunge. For some, your back toes will be tucked under and even grounded, back heel grounded, totally fine. If you prefer your back knee to be lifted, it's also a nice variation of this pose. You squeeze your belly in and up, you press your tailbone forward and down to lengthen through the front of your left hip. Then straighten out your right leg any amount and lean over to stretch your hamstrings. If your back knee is comfortable on the bolster, you can do the same sequence of stretching forward in Anjaneyasana, lunge pose, and then backward. It might be nice for you to rotate your right toes and knees outward, knee outward, as you go back and forth in this lunge. I'll show it on the side here. So the idea is that you're doing a low lunge with your knee grounded or not, and your front leg, as you stretch and lengthen your front knee to stretch your hamstrings, you can externally rotate. Whoa. And that stretches out your outer hamstring. And that can be really helpful because of what we were just doing. Beautiful. That's it, Cecil. Good. And as you pull your hips back, rock onto your heel of your straightening leg. Ah. Then forward. Press your tailbone forward and down. Squeeze your belly in and up, and squeeze your buttock of your back leg. And if you're lifted back knee, same thing. Really squeeze your left glutes. Yes, beautiful, Jean. Yeah, there you go, Carol. And then any amount backwards. If you're a full splits person, you can certainly go into full Hanumanasana. This half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana, for many of us is plenty. Thank you very much. And then when your body says, okay, fine, I'm ready to switch sides, that's your cue to bring your left leg forward in front, to lengthen through your right hip, and then kick back and externally rotate your front leg in your Ardha Hanumanasana. That's it. Yeah. So what does that mean, externally rotate? When you're here with your right knee down, you're lifting your chest, pulling your toes up to your knee. You can drop your left knee down and out, and your toes as well, and you shift into stretching your external hamstring fibers, which may be kind of cringy. Certainly don't need to do that. You can point your toes straight up and your knees straight up if that's preferable. Beautiful. Couple backs and forths. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this gets the blood flowing around your hips. It's pulling on your hamstrings, getting some length in your hamstrings, which they can also take over and get tight and crampy. And then we'll do next a figure 4 or a pigeon, which is also going to help the hip cramping. And the cramping in this circumstance very likely has to do with overworking. I did a lot with you today on this, and your hip might be like, what the heck? Too much, need to stop. Yeah. Oftentimes cramping happens when your muscles just really fatigued and it just says, I'm done. It locks. Okay. Now, if you would like to stretch out your hip further, please feel free to slowly shift to pigeon. If you're a pigeon person, pigeon is that one where you put your knee down, bring your leg back. I really love figure 4, however, because it gets at your piriformis in a different angle than pigeon. And so what you can do is put your strap around your feet and lower your foot, your right foot, so you can put your left ankle on top of your right thigh. And you don't need a strap for this, but oh boy, for me, that's helpful to use a strap, because now I can hold the strap without having to try to grab my leg in a certain way. I can place my legs into a figure four position without contorting my upper body. So that's why I like a strap under my right foot. And then I place my left ankle on top. And now my back can be nice and flat. My head and shoulders can be grounded, which is really nice for those of us who hold a lot of tension in our necks. And you might even roll your chin from side to side. Ugh. The idea of figure four is that you're stretching out all those muscles that you were using in those standing poses in a way that can be really helpful for rebalancing your hips and therefore your back. So take your time as you breathe into your figure four. And you can, of course, do it without the strap. You might do this every day all by yourself without a strap. Don't need it, no problem. But take a few breaths in your figure four on the first side, and then switch it up to your second side when you are ready. That's it. Notice when you're doing your figure four, if your leg that's underneath your foot is drifting towards your belly button. We want your leg that's underneath your foot to stay on its own side of your pelvis. That's it. Notice your breathing. If you're not really feeling a stretch, raise your hand and I can help troubleshoot for you. In other words, make it worse for you. Yeah, really breathe into your buttocks, breathe into your hips. Relax your chest, your shoulders. When you feel that you've stretched evenly this side compared to the first, I invite you to set up a Stonehenge with one tall block under each side of your bolster, pretty close together, honestly, about 8 inches apart, 10 inches at the most. And then this might be your platform to place your calves on so that when you rest all the way down, oh, there's a little bit of a release to your low back that's different than the one that happens when you're lying flat with your legs long. I'll turn off the cold air. And if you have super squishy blocks, just raise your hand and I'll run over to you with more dense blocks, because sometimes Stonehenge on a squishy block can be a very delicate thing. Take your time to settle in, settle down. Yeah. Any poses, stretches, or other movements that you need before resting are always welcome. And then slowly finding your way into your deep relaxation of choice. Let your eyes settle into the floor of your skull. Soften your brain. And now, very gently, begin to expand your breathing lightly, softly, inhaling and exhaling gently and fully. And if you wish to begin to make small movements with your fingers and toes, it can be lovely. Maybe you bend your elbows and your knees and re-straighten them. Perhaps you rock side to side, massage out your back. And if you're drawn to sit upright, lovely. If you're drawn to stay resting long on your back, also a lovely option. If you do choose to sit, I invite you to take this mudra or yogic seal symbolizing gratitude. Gratitude for our practice, for our mobility, for this community. Allow your spine to lift and lengthen up towards the ceiling, softly like a tree trunk. But let your shoulders, your arms, your ancillary body parts drift down. Yeah, kind of like a pine tree. Take a big breath in, grow really tall. Exhale, let it go. Two more like that. A big tall breath in. One more time. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So nice to have you. Your hard work. We did a lot with hips today, all those warrior threes and Ardha Chandrasana. We also did a lot of hip work earlier. So if your hips felt crampy, that's to be expected because working on hip strength, one of the more challenging ways to use your hip is to hold yourself up in space while doing this. Right? For most of us, that is the one of the hardest things to do while maintaining your alignment when you're doing this kind of movement. Yeah. So know that if you felt tired and kind of, that's completely to be expected. And we're trying to build strength. So getting a little fatigued is good. Getting overly fatigued is maybe not what we want. So the invitation is always to take some time now this afternoon, give your hips a little massage, maybe take a Epsom salt bath tonight. And kind of, tomorrow do some hulas, get your hips moving, right? So speaking of meditation, we meditated just a titch at the end. There's a new meditation, online free meditation from 12 noon to 12:30 p.m. starting on June 12th. Myself, my friend Melissa, my friend Jennifer, and our friend Chris, we're all four of us longtime friends and colleagues, and we're going to be rotating teaching this Friday, free, online. Just pop into the Zoom room, do your meditation, say goodbye, or maybe don't even say anything. You don't even have to turn your camera on or whatever. But if you're interested, just let me know after class. I'll put you on the list, and I'll be sending out a general email with the link as well. But if you want to get in early, I will put you on the list right away. Half hour, yeah. Fridays at 12 noon. Yeah.
Please, I got Melissa's email. Please put me on the list.
Oh, I will. Definitely. You got her email? Good. Yeah. So you can click that and it'll sign you up. Yeah. 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 Perfect. Indefinitely. Yeah. Yeah. Ad infinitum. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But it's so painful. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, that's brutal. No, rotator cuff is no joke. That's rough. Oh, yes. Oh, no. All right, Susanna, thank you. See you soon. Vicky,
Yes.
nice to see you.
Great class.
Thank you. Good. A little bit hard on the hips, but hopefully manageable.
Really
Great
good.
class, Ann.
Okay, good. Thank you for coming. Great to see you, Vicky.
I'm going to try
All
to
right.
sign up for the meditation also.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll put you on the list, and I'll be sending out an email where you can click the link, and then you'll receive a weekly
Super.
reminder.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Great.
Have a good
Okay,
weekend,
Vicky.
Dan.
Thank you. You too.
See you
Okay.
next week.
Sounds good. Great. Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Susanna. Bye, and see you soon, Susanna.
Okay, dear.